Hi, this is Ashishat Bedekar, and welcome to my podcast, The ARB Show. I'm thrilled to introduce today's guest, Rabi. Rabi is a serial entrepreneur. He moved to the Silicon Valley from India in 2017 to start EvaBot, where he's the co founder and CEO. Eva AI from EvaBot is a sales intelligence and engagement layer across the sales cycle that enables reps to automate the research, personalization, and engagement. And sales teams use Eva to do multi-threading and build more champions faster, building pipeline velocity. They are backed by Comcast Ventures, Bloomberg Beta, Alumni Ventures, and Precursor. Over to you, Ravi. Look forward to understanding your vision for EvaBot and hearing from you on the top five trends of AI in sales processes. Over to you, Ravi.
Yeah, thanks Ashish for having me on the ARB show. It's really cool. And yeah, we are connecting after so long, so I'm super excited to do this.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. So maybe you can start with a quick recap about your vision for
hmm
EvaBot, and then maybe let's dive into the top five trends, what you feel where AI is helping in sales processes.
Yeah. At EvaBot, we have been using AI for corporate relationship buildings for over 5 years now. And when the new generative AI and LLMs came up, we thought of building a new product because LLMs are going to redefine almost every industry and every workflow. So we started working on some of the sales use cases, and we started at top of the funnel because that is where we saw that majority of pain is. So we have built a product that acts as an AI agent or an expert and automatically does all the research on all the prospects and the accounts you're chasing, and then it does one-to-one analysis, meaning it looks at what you are selling and your company does, and then do the analysis on all the publicly available data like earnings call, 10K report, news, blog posts, everything, and then brings out insights that makes sense for you to reach out to the account at the moment. So that's what we do as a product. Yeah, we have been building this for like past 8-9 months, and we just started selling the product in February.
Great, great. So that would have given you a good ringside as well as a operator's view about what are the kind of trends in sales processes where AI is used. So I'm sure the audience would really love to hear your insights.
Yeah. I mean, during the journey, of course, in the past 1.5 years, we have made like really good friends in the sales industry. Leaders who have done really well. We have in fact partnered with a lot of these sales leaders as design partners to help us build the product as well. Yeah, we have learned a lot of things, in sales, especially because there is so much noise, both in AI and sales. Most of the traditional sales methods doesn't work anymore, and AI has made them worse because there is just too much volume that people do these days without any thought or without any research. So yeah, we have seen a tons of like different trends and also like new tools that are coming up that are actually helping sales reps. um, yeah, it's both a pain and also like exciting in terms of the potential of AI in sales.
Right. Because one of the big challenges that everyone is facing, it's a fire hose of information, right? You really can't uh, find what is the information which is relevant for you, and specifically when you're in the sales process, what's relevant for the sales process for the account, and how does it fit it with your pitch. So, really keen to
Yeah,
understand, what trends you see in this area. Maybe let's start with your first trend,
yeah,
which you like to talk about.
yeah. The first trend I think you just touched upon is basically, there's a lot of hype around AI, and most of the sales before this whole AI thing came up was all about doing the grunt work, following a process, and just sending out more and more emails and doing more and more calls, right? And then if you wanted to scale that process, you just hired more sales reps. That was the process that was working fine. When AI came, the problem that happened was almost everyone has access to everyone's emails now. Everyone has access to everyone's phone numbers now. So basically, people have forgotten to use the fundamentals of sales, which is like doing your research first and then doing the outreach. Now, because emails and phone numbers and tools to reach out through email and phone numbers are so readily available, that everyone is just doing numbers. So on the other side, all the buyers are bombarded with emails and calls, spam calls and emails every day. So AI has in a way made the problem worse right now. But what is going to happen is, because these things are not working anymore, means like it's not that instead of, if you were sending 1,000 emails getting one reply, now you're sending 10,000 emails and getting 0 replies. So it has become like that. So basically what will happen now is people will start going back to fundamentals, because they have seen that this whole AI hype of generating emails and sending tons of emails without much context is not going to help anymore. Even the tactics are not working anymore. So earlier people used to do tactics like someone changed their job, right? And this is a signal that you can track and just reach out to them at that point saying, hey, you just changed the job, we have worked with you in the past in this product, like now let's work on this, or congratulations on changing the job. Now what has happened is everyone is using these tools. So when you change your jobs, you get maybe thousands of emails like this, right? So basically tactics are not working anymore, right? And that is the first trend, I would say, is that like AI in its current form gave people a lot of hope, but in its current form it's actually not helping. It's actually making it worse.
Right. No, it's interesting. I mean, this kind of reminds me of article which I read some time back, which talked of that unless your fundamentals are changed or re-engineered, even if you put in automation, you're only making a mistake faster, right?
That's true. Exactly.
Right? So back to basics, and understanding your ICP and aligning your processes, your pitch, your etc. is the key. That's really relevant. What's the second observation you see in terms of trends when you're looking at use of AI in sales processes?
The second trend is I would say is more on the hopeful side, which again, like you picked up correctly. So see, fundamentally sales is not going anywhere, right? It's not that because there is just too much spam, people will stop responding to emails or calls. It's not going to happen, right? Because the fundamentals of sales are, if a buyer in pain would always seek a solution that can solve their problem, right? And a seller, if they are really good, they will always find the right customer with the pain that they can solve for, right? And act as a trusted advisor versus bombarding them with spam emails, right? So I think the first version of the AI, everyone was super excited about the generative abilities of the AI, which is I can generate any sort of email just by typing a prompt, right? But now everyone has realized that any human can now understand that this email is written by an AI, right? So the second ability of AI, which many people didn't use initially, is the reasoning ability of AI, right? And I think that is where most of the value will get created in AI, which is like using AI as an expert, right? Or an analyst by your side. And that is when AI becomes something that elevate sales reps, right? Earlier people thought AI will replace sales reps because I just need to write these templatized emails, right? And AI can do that. So you will see a lot of tools in the market that talk about replacing sales reps. But I think that is not going to work. And people are already seeing that. The reasoning ability of AI will actually make your sales reps or elevate your sales reps to do a much better job, right? So real salespeople are those who are really good at building relationships, being creative at their work, right? They act as a trusted advisor to their prospects. So what is going to happen is, to these people, AI can actually help them by doing their grunt work. Like, okay, I did all the research. Here are the key pointers that you can talk about, right? This is the past conversation we had with this customer, right? The customer works at a public company. This is what is happening, right? They are actually facing this pain that you can solve right now, right? So basically, AI can do all of this, and then the sales rep can use their skills to actually build the relationship, do the sale, right?
Yep.
And that is the second trend, which I'm really hopeful for, because now many, both on the seller side and the buyer side, people are realizing that no one is solving fundamental problems, but then there are tools coming up, including our own tool, which is trying to solve the problem of actually figuring out if someone is facing a pain or not, and then helping you do a very thoughtful reach out.
Got it. So this is, in fact, I read somewhere a sales leader mentioned that let's not get into a B2B or a B2C or various, alphabet soup when it comes to sales processes. At the end of the day, it's H to H, human to human, right? So as long as you keep that in mind, keep relationship and keep with a genuine interest to solve your customer's pain point, I think all that thing can fall in line. So just a small query: when you talk of reasoning abilities of AI and automation, would you also say that another challenge which many of the salespeople have, that there's a huge multitude of tools, right? For example, there's a classical meme which says sales hero 007, right? 0 days, 0 customers met, 0 calls done, but spent 7 hours filling up systems and forms and things like that.
Sure.
So one is of course AI, but of course in any sales organization you would have some legacy or pre-AI tools, automation. It could be CRM like HubSpot, or it could be MailChimp, or any basic thing. So then how does AI tools or AI thing integrate with everything and make sense of it? Because another challenge is the whole fragmentation of tools or whatever you are trying to use, right? So how are AI companies solving that?
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. We are actually writing a white paper also on this, like how do you decide which AI tool to purchase, right? Because we have seen that it's a huge problem. Like, everyone is saying they have AI, including legacy players like Salesforce would say we have the same AI, right? The difference is that, so then there are existing players, legacy players, and then there are new players, right? The existing players will augment all of their tools with a layer on top of AI. So let's take Salesforce. They have Einstein, right? The advantage of Einstein is that it can read, it can have access to all the data that is already there in Salesforce. So it can do a lot of things which others can't do, right? But then there are new tools which can actually totally rethink of a solution. For example, I'm just giving a very radical example where with today's AI, you can actually replace CRM. Why do you need a CRM, right? A CRM is just like a source of data, right? Like your single kind of source of truth. With new tools, for example, if there is an AI agent, so this is the third aspect of AI that is coming up, which is autonomous agents that can do a lot of things on your behalf without you prompting them to do anything, right? So you set them up once. In a way, our tool is also an agent but it does very specific things. But then companies are also working on agents that can change their job depending upon how you prompt them. So for example, if there is an agent that basically knows all about your prospects, knows all about the past conversations you have had with the prospects, knows when did you reach an account or a prospect before. If it knows everything, and it actually suggests you what to do every day based on that knowledge, then why do you need a CRM, right? CRM just creates a problem in this case, right? That, okay, I have to go and check which accounts to reach out to versus someone telling me that which accounts to reach out to today, right? So I think, this will take a little bit of time, at least a couple of years or more, for new companies to come up that can actually replace a lot of complex workflows. I mean, Web 2.0 was all about replacing regular workflows that you have to write 10 emails. Let's use Outreach. Outreach will help you do the cadence in a very structured format, right? You just click a button and it helps you send a template, right? So I think that the next generation of tools will actually do very complex workflow automations, like keeping a track of all your prospects and then telling you which ones to reach out and what to talk about, right? And all of that, right? And then the sales reps will be able to work on more deals, right? So it's all about productivity, right? Just like coders are now able to be 2 to 3x more productive with automatic like GitHub Copilot and stuff like that. I think sales agents will also be more productive, and good salespeople will be able to do maybe 8x to 10x of their previous volume, right? Okay. Even the bad sales reps will be able to do at least 1.5 to 2x. So that is where the world will go with these AI agents in a way.
Right. Also, when you say AI agents, are you also including various elements of customer engagement, not sales, but customer engagement, things like, say, customer support, customer success? Are you also including those factors into these processes?
Yeah, I think there's this whole suite of products coming in customer success also, like customer support, customer success. There are tons of tools, like Zendesk is again building their own AI agent, Freshdesk is building their own AI agent. So yeah, I mean, like we have been seeing that in sales also there are tons of companies coming up doing different sort of automation.
Got it.
Customer success and support is actually more active in terms of startups building solutions in that area, because they have a good advantage, which is like as soon as you reach out to a company, you can just take all of their previous conversations, right? Yeah. And train your model and build something on top of it. So that is where we are seeing a lot of innovation. But again, there are legacy players there as well, right? Like Intercom, Zendesk, Freshworks, like all these are also building.
Yeah, my comment was more from a perspective of account mining, right? For example, this is more true when you're talking of ginormous enterprise accounts, like multinationals with many verticals and a global presence, right? And you are probably serving one vertical and with one product line, right? And now you want to go deep and go breadth, right? In that case, do you also see this agentic AIs trying to understand, what's the customer engagement so far for this specific product, and then doing analysis?
100%.
Okay.
100%. That will happen. I mean, Gong in a way is doing something like that.
Okay.
Right, like because Gong has access to all your recordings with customers, and so they are also trying to build something like this. But yeah, almost every company that touches any aspect of this whole sales workflow, they are trying to do something using AI.
Got it. Coming to the fourth point, so what's the fourth trend which you see?
Fourth trend I would talk about is how AI is redefining cold calling, right? And as you were rightly saying, whether it's B2B or B2C, see, people are saying that again, like AI can replace cold calling, right? But there also, I would say the replacement theory might work in B2C use cases. For example, you call a car company, you are looking at their website, right? You want to purchase the car. At that time, you really don't want to talk to a real agent, right? Maybe you want to know something about the car specifications, right? That is where, if an AI calls you back saying, okay, you were looking at this, any questions on that, right? You're totally fine. right? Because it doesn't matter. You're not building a relationship. You basically are asking questions. I think that is where AI voice will totally replace humans. But then if you actually talk about sales, and especially mid-market enterprise sales, there it's not about answering my questions, right? In those type of sales, it's about, are you an advisor to me? Will you solve my problem, right? What solutions do you offer, right? How can your product work with my product? How do you differ from your competitors? In that case, basically, the seller is building a relationship with the buyer, right? So that is where I think AI will solve the problem in a different way. So one of the things that we have also done internally is we now use AI heavily for research, right? So one of the biggest challenges in cold calling is you cannot just dial 100 calls every day, or because you have to do research first, right? What happens when the person picks up? What are you going to say? If you're going to say same again, the tactics are not working anymore. If you're going to say, oh, can I have 30 seconds of yours? I'm a sales rep, it's a cold call. Can I talk to you? This used to work a couple of years ago. But again, as more and more people are doing these tactics, it doesn't work anymore. Because if every day you get 5 calls like that, you're like, I'm not going to pick up any call, right? So what we are trying to do is, using AI, you are able to do research at scale. So suppose I want to dial 100 numbers today. As soon as a call is picked up, I'm immediately seeing a very relevant research on that account. So, I saw that you are facing seat growth challenge in your earnings call report. Is that true? Right? If yes, I have something for you. Now, when you talk like that, the other person is like, oh, that's actually true. Plus, you did your research, right? So they are willing to have a conversation. So I think the cold calling is going to be a very interesting trend in the next couple of years, and it's going to redefine all of this.
And it's also feasible that even on the buyer side, they have agents who answer calls, right? So it would be an agent-to-agent conversation for all you know.
And that's correct. And that is why, if you go too heavy on automated calls, which are not made by humans, then there will be filters on the other side as well, right? If they know that bots can call 1,000 number every day, so okay, the bots can also receive thousands call every day, right?
True. So that's we had a good summary. What would be your final key point about the key trend which you see in this area?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the final is more like how AI is going to redefine the future of sales. I think I touched upon these topics a little bit in between as well. So I believe that AI will help you do more of the fundamental things right. For example, doing research, being more creative, right? All of that. So whenever a new technology comes up, right, or a new trend comes up, a lot more people are freed up from their day-to-day jobs, and they get more creative. Let's take your example, right? Like, you're now running a podcast. Now, this is something where I'm pretty sure this is more aligned with your creativity and interests versus, say, a day-to-day job, right? So everyone wants to be more creative. Everyone wants to be more free in their job. And so if you look at sales until now had been more of like grunt work, right? You have to just follow the process, and that's it, right? Especially for SDRs. And again, that is a boring thing. No one wants to be an SDR, right? So if you can make it more fun, if you can make it like, okay, all your grunt work is already done by this AI, you can now be more creative. You're free to use your relationship building skills, use your creative skills, use your social media skills, whatever, right? And that way, basically, more and more people will love their SDR jobs also, right? And people who are really naturally good at, say, selling will actually do 10 to 20 times more than what they can do today. So I think that is going to be very like a huge fundamental change in sales. The other thing is, as I said, like most of the tools as we know of today will cease to exist. Uh, I don't know if you have seen, but then there are so many companies now like Perplexity that are giving challenge to Google, right? And that has only been possible because it is a completely new technology. And legacy players are typically late at utilizing the technology to build something for consumers, right? So they will just add on to their existing products, because it's also innovators' dilemma, right? Like they cannot completely kill their product to build something new. So I think that is where I think sales also has a lot of legacy players, and in sales also there's a lot of chance of disruption, and completely changing the workflows, which salespeople are used to for 5 years. Now I think that is going to completely change.
Got it. So it would also mean rewiring of maybe skill sets, rewiring of behaviors, attitudes, maybe the kind of training. So could you throw some light on what needs to change from a sales management perspective on the human side, soft
Yeah,
skills, let's say.
yeah. I think one good thing that is going to happen is you need less training. So if you have AI doing all the process-driven work, right, where you need more training, that follow this process, do this step, don't forget to do this step, right? All those things, like humans are really bad at it, right? So even if you train every month all your sales reps, only like 20-30% people will actually follow the whole thing, right? So I think training is going to get even easier, and naturally people who are good at sales will feel better and at their jobs and do really well. And people who are doing this just to learn will also do much better because they are not pressured by training all the time, right? So managers will have a much easier job, the harder job in the sense that they have to find the right tools, right? But easier job in the sense that they don't have to do a lot of trainings. So all these tools can actually replace a lot of human trainings that is required in this.
Got it. Also, I think from a productivity perspective, I think making it easier would mean more output, right? Because many of these processes, etc., actually pull the sales performance down, right? Because if you're supposed to fill in reams of reports on specific accounts, etc., it's a waste of the time, right? Because that time could have been spent in front of the customer. So I can see where this would this would kind of lead to. So that's really great. And thanks again, Ravi. This gives a great perspective. Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in. Do subscribe, share, and like this podcast. Consider giving the podcast a 5-star rating if you like the content. Bye for now. Talk to you soon.